evening and welcome to another national discussion sponsored by the National Black Debutante Project. I am Dr. Nikita Harris. I am the Executive Director of the National Black Debutante Project as well as the International League of Cotillions. Tonight we celebrate International Tea Day and we're going to talk about tea even beyond the cup. And I am excited to bring into this conversation because of tea traditions have always been about spaces that have been very intentional in terms of connection, community, and just generational love. And I am going to invite to my tea party tonight. I'm honored to have Sommelier, tea sommelier, Hiwatha Coleman. Hello, lady.
Great evening, Dr. Harris.
You look fabulous.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me into your space.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have been, we have been talking about doing this for a very long time. So I'm excited that we could, come together during this time, International Tea Day. Could you give me a little history about International Tea Day? Has it been going on for a very long time?
It has been going on for a very long time, Dr. Harris. And International Tea Day is celebrated internationally, worldwide. And as a member of the Tea and Herbal Association of Canada, we invite you all to join us to a SOFA summit that will start in a few hours and it will go on for half of a day. So there are people from various cultures, various continents. They all come together and they share tea from their cultural standpoint. So it's really educational and food brings us all together. That's one thing that as humans, we all have in common. And second to water, tea is the most consumed beverage in the world. So we always say water is the mother of tea. So we're just excited. All of the tea heads around the world, we just go into a frenzy when this day comes about.
Oh, I love it. Tea sommelier. I've been practicing that all day, but I know there's an English way to say it, a British way to say it, a French way to say it. I selected the one with the least syllables. Can you tell me a little bit about what that is and what goes into becoming a tea sommelier?
Yes, ma'am. Well, the root word is that of a Latin vulgate, and it actually originated as a beast of burden. It was like animals that were packed down with cargo. And things evolved as history went on and on and on. And in France, you had a wine steward. So that person was in control of the cellar and all of the king's information, all of the really, really good, expensive things. So that term evolved in sommelier. I always tell people, if you can say A-OK, you can say sommelier. So that's the correlation there. So the sommelier, like they have a wine sommelier who is an expert in the grape, in the vineyard. We are expert in tea. Tea is a crop. And the scientific name of tea is Camellia sinensis. So all teas start out the same. I don't want to get ahead of myself. You may want to ask that later on, but Camellia sinensis is the scientific name of tea. So you have the Camellia sinensis, the Chinese brand, and then you have the sinensis, the Asomako. You have that, and you also have the Cambodi. But the most common is the Camellia sinensis. That's what you hear about.
Okay. Well, what drew you to the tea field or this area of specialty?
Well, believe it or not, when I began this journey in 2023, this cultural journey, I started out training as an etiquette consultant. I am a certified etiquette consultant, a tea historian. I got all of that during my etiquette training, and I found it fascinating. So I finished that. And what did I do? I went to culinary school. So I am a chef in hospitality and restaurant operations management. And I learned that if you mix tea with etiquette, it's both cultural. So if culinary had a baby, I would say, with etiquette, it would be a tea. It's like the two worlds combined, the best of both worlds. So I just want to continue my study. And after I finished culinary school, 21 days later, I enrolled in the Tea and Herbal Association of Canada's Tea Sommelier program, which I am a certified tea sommelier as well as a certified herbs and infusion specialist. So that's what kind of garnered me in that direction. The
Okay, so tea sommelier, but you're also a chef escoffier, right?
Yes, yes,
I've
yes.
learned all of these terms through our friendship over the last year or so. I love all of the. You're just like a walking encyclopedia to me. That's what I was telling
Oh,
Dr.
thank
Chitachi.
you. Thank you so much. And everyone, I returned to culinary school again. I'm studying as a patissiere, so like a chocolatier, a pastry
Wow.
artist. I'm actually in that program now. I couldn't get enough of it. Had to go back. Had to.
But let's tell everybody where you're from. You're from Monroe, Louisiana, and you are the CEO of Watha's Wonderful World. We came in contact through your junior cotillion, which is in its second year, and we will showcase it in the next week or so as one of our cotillions for our spring showcase. So tell us about that journey to Watha's Wonderful World.
Yes. So, as a certified etiquette consultant, I had so many clients, and a lot of individual clients actually came to me and asked if I offered that service. And I was not able to offer it because I had not been trained in it. So, God bless me through Lady Trinette Wilson, the founder of the Urban Etiquette Professionals, the Etiquette Training Institute. So, I trained as a junior cotillion director. And she mentored me, and I initiated my first cotillion last year, and it was very successful from ground up. And so now I'm building on that. I just completed another one. And on Monday, we will be talking about in the interest meeting the one that I'm having for the winter. I'll be having a winter cotillion. During the cotillion, the participants actually receive tea etiquette training. It is a major part of it. So they learn sensory development, what is on the palate, what they should be experiencing when they're indulging in a tea party, the etiquette standpoint, as well as the culinary. So once again, you see those two worlds, they're married together. So I really enjoy teaching that to those young people.
Directress Hiwatha, what surprised you most about the history and the culture of tea as you were going through your training?
What surprised me the most is how tea from all cultures eliminated brutality. And for example, during the Japanese tea ceremony, the door is short. Even though you may be tall in stature, everyone has to bow down. That means everyone is equal on the same level. So you leave all of your titles, all your I'm Miss That and Mr. So and so behind. You're all one when you enter that tea room. And also in ancient days, those were samurais in there. They had to leave their swords on the outside. That was a safe space. So if you look at it now, having a tea party or indulging in tea means that you're in a serene, safe space, no brutality, no murdering. Everyone is equal. And so when I learned that, I was like, oh, wow, this is a form of gastro diplomacy. If you go to a state dinner, you're going to see tea on that menu, some sort of it. So that really surprised me, and that encouraged me to carry that out in what I do in my business.
That is very interesting. Like tea brings people together in terms of peace and connection and community. That's so let me ask you this. Why do these gathering rituals matter universal and from a global standpoint?
Oh, wow. I can go on and on all night. Every country and every continent has its own way of celebrating tea. Some of the most unusual ones is the one, for example, the Russians, how they indulge in tea. They actually take some jam and put it in their mouth and they drink the tea so that hot tea infuses with their jam as they swallow it. That is just Russian caravan. That is just an unusual thing for me to see. I love it. But my favorite way is the Moroccan mint. And you know, Morocco is in North Africa and they use so many sugar cubes, so much sugar, so much fresh mint, and they pour their tea from a tall height. And the higher they pour, that shows the respect that they have for their guests. So it's just so many different ways that tea is served in each culture, and it makes you appreciate each culture. And it also makes you want to learn more about it and try it in your own culture.
Well, I learned from you about isn't Kenya like the one of the largest producers of a certain type of tea? And
Kenya.
there's a connection to the Black Panther movie and
Yes. So Kenya is the largest exporter of black tea in the world. In the
wow.
world. So when everyone thinks about the movie Black Panther, if you've ever seen it, Warner Brothers, when those Panthers got sick, what did the elders do? They went and they picked these bulbs, and the bulbs were illuminated and they were purple and they fluoresced inside of the mixture and they would pour it down and then the bodies would rejuvenate. Well, guess what? In Kenya, only tea comes out of the ground and the leaves are actually purple. And when they're brewed and infused, the liquor is purple. So I think, and I would pay homage to that movie, Black Panther, they should have given credit to Kenya because there is such a thing as purple tea in Kenya.
Wow, purple tea. Okay. You know,
Yes.
one of the, I'm very excited about, our African American debutante registry is will be published this summer and will be ready for sale this summer. And you wrote a piece called, let me make sure I get it right, The Mother Daughter Tea Party, a
Yes.
celebration of womanhood and generational love within the African American cotillion tradition. And I just love that article. And I'm so excited that it's going to be a part of the inaugural edition of the African American Debutante Registry. And so we're talking about tea internationally. I want to kind of bring it here in as it relates to your article and also in our community here in the States. What role have Black women traditionally played in preserving community traditions through tea?
Well, from its inception rather, tea was not always afforded to us in the States as African American women. During slavery and St. Valentine's Day, the slave owners would always celebrate that holiday, but the enslaved were not allowed to partake in that. Well, there was so much drunkenness going on in the big house, and a lot of those beautiful bone china cups became fragile and they broke, or some of the china broke. So the following day, the master would come down Slave Row and he would give the man of the house, the enslaved African male, he would give to him some of those broken teacups that were chipped. Like, it was just a gift to them. And you know what the ladies did? They saved those. And when they went to clean up, they saw some chipped dishes. So the mistresses did not want to keep anything that was broken. They wanted everything perfect. So our ancestral mothers, they salvaged those teacups. They salvaged those tea saucers. They salvaged all of that. And they began to create tea parties. out of what was broken. I always say broken teacups heal my soul. I always say that because that was the legacy, that was the inception of the tea parties. And then as time evolved, we were able to take part or partake in a tea party. So we were not on the 1840 end of Anna, the seventh Duchess of Bedford. It came to us after slavery. And that's where we
Ah,
just kept that up. Yes, ma'am.
okay. So this is kind of like a virtual tea party between us and well among us. And I have some tea here today, and you have some
Wow.
tea, and I want you to talk about what you're drinking. And do I need to take my gloves off before? Isn't that part of proper
Of
etiquette?
course. Yes,
And
yes,
how do I hold
ma'am.
the teacup? Am I supposed to do
Oh,
like this? Okay.
I'm gonna show you
So I
all
need
of
to take
that.
my
Yes.
gloves off, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That would be the first thing at the onset of a tea party. You would remove your gloves. I see people online and they're having a good time and they forget to take their gloves off, but that's part of it. So now we freed our hands to indulge.
Where do I put my gloves? Where do I put my
You put
gloves
your
once?
gloves in your purse. They should be soft enough to be folded and place them in your purse. And your purse should be either in your lap or at the small of your back. So if you're at a fancy restaurant, most chairs are enclosed, but some of those chairs have a gap in it. So if you're sitting in a chair and the back of it has a gap, that purse goes into your lap. You would place it there and you would place your napkin on top of it with the fold facing your abdomen, the crease. So you would have it
Okay.
all discreet. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you remove your gloves, you place
Yes.
them in your purse.
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
purse should be in your lap or at the small of your back and in the back of the closest to the
Behind.
chair and
Yes,
behind your
yes.
back. Okay.
But
All right.
if the chair has a gap, it goes into your lap. So
Okay.
remember, gap, lap.
Gap lap. Okay.
Okay.
So what are you drinking this evening?
I am drinking an herbal. So it's called a
Okay.
tisane. This is not a Camellia sinensis, it's a botanical. So remember, Camellia sinensis has to be from that particular plant. So if it's not from the Camellia sinensis, it is a tisane. Okay, it's a botanical. So I'm drinking a lemon and ginger.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
herb.
Well, let me tell you, um, I don't know how I became so blessed and favored, but a few months ago, Nicole Reed, who is the founder and chief etiquette officer of Lineage and Leaf, sent me a variety of different teas. And I've been
What?
telling you about this, Directress Hiwatha, and how I'm going to share it with you. I haven't shared any of them with you, but I will be sending you some. And
Oh,
I just
thank
got a beautiful package from her. And what I'm drinking, this came in the package, is Lady Lavender. And I
you.
mean, my goodness, when I opened this, oh my God, this smells so good.
And I can
And this,
see the
oh, look at
colors
that.
and the blue. And you know what you're drinking from that Earl Grey? That is a blend of black tea. And the smell that you smell is the oil of bergamot. It's orange.
So good. And it
Yes.
tastes delicious.
Yes. And it
And
lingers. The smell lingers, doesn't it?
yes, yes, yes. And then also that came in my package was, it's called the Gilded Age Glitter Honey. And I just put a little bit in there.
Ooh.
And it is absolutely delicious.
Yes. Now, let's talk about that cup you just had. This is so funny. You see on the internet, people always doing this clock that tea, clock that tea.
Clock that tea.
They may not be they may not be aware, but they're actually doing it correctly. They may not
Really?
even be aware of it. Yes, because it's a pinching motion. These two are pinching and this is holding. I'm going to give you an example. So you would like pinch like here, and you see
Uh-huh.
the finger is supporting at the bottom. You see how you're holding it? So
Yes.
your finger never loops inside. Okay.
Okay.
Always remember. So it's on the outside. So you do your pinch and you're doing your support. Look at that. It takes a little practice, but you can do it.
Even with these long
Isn't that
fingers I
amazing?
have. Yes. There you
Yes, you
go.
can
A
do it.
pinch. It never
You
goes
want you
inside,
want to
but a
hear a little
pinch.
history? Yeah, a pinch. And
Okay.
look, the
And then
more you
let
do it,
me she also within this package, this is called a tea coupe.
yes,
And I thought this was really nice. And I did a little research and it stated that I can drink cold and hot. I can drink
yes,
wine
ma'am.
and tea in a tea coupe. Is there
Yes.
any history behind the tea coupe?
It's something new and it's trending because
Oh,
tea is trending and it's on the uprise everywhere worldwide. So just like you would go to another type of beverage facility and they have all these different beverages, but you know you don't serve every beverage in the same type of vessel. So that's something new and trending.
okay. And so I want to share because this is a black owned company. Like I
Yeah.
said, Nicole Reed. And there is, I got to clutch my pearls, uh,
Wow.
gingerly, uh, garden party. I haven't tried these yet, and I will share some of these with you. And
Thank
beauty
you.
sleep. Beauty sleep sounds like something I need to definitely consume at bedtime. Are there different teas that you should drink at different times?
That ginger. That ginger is really good at the end of a meal because it helps with the digestive process. And ginger also helps to improve circulation. So if you're kind of stiff or whatever, inflammation, and you see people have gout, that is something that really is helpful for that.
Okay, awesome. So there's a lot of health benefits to drinking tea.
Yes, ma'am. And
That's a lot
green
of people
tea.
think like it's relaxing, and we know that, but there are some other medicinal benefits to
Yes.
tea.
Yes, green tea, if you consume between 2 to 4 cups a day, it fights off cancer and it helps ward off cardiovascular images
Wow.
or issues, rather. So in China, they have TCM, which is traditional Chinese medicine. So instead of going to the pharmacy, they have an apothecary of sorts. So you go in and you tell the people who are the ministers there what is going on with you, and they prescribe different herbs or different teas for that. They use medication as a last resort. Most of them are centenarians over there. You notice that?
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. And there was another I want to share with you. Nicole Reed also, she has this really great book called Slaying Grace, a guide for graceful and a graceful filled life. And I have been just looking through it and reading different chapters. And there was something I ran across that I just absolutely love. And it has a lot to do with etiquette and social graces. So, directors, how sometimes people will ask you questions that are inappropriate or that are personal. And so this is so nice. She has different ways that you can respond to those
Wow.
questions.
Yes.
Um, you can respond and you can redirect them or deflect. You can respond by answering with a question or humor. So let me give you an example. So let's say someone asks, how much money do you make? Well, I think that's
Wow.
inappropriate, don't you?
Yes, of course.
Yes, yes. So if you were going to redirect and reflect, it says, you can say, I do well for myself. Okay. Or if you want to answer with the question, you can say, are you trying to get into this field? And if you want to use humor, she has an example here. Not enough to buy my dream home in Italy. So, I'm a communications professor. So I really enjoyed the section on language and how to use that to uh, respond and still, redo it with grace,
Yes,
right? And slay.
yes,
And I saw her title is very appropriate, slaying with grace. So I just
yes.
want people to check out Nicole Reed of Lineage and Leaf. Her website is www.lineageandleaf.com, as well as www.reed, REED, like the letter N, right, WRIGHT.com. So, Black owned company, great book, wonderful teas. So please check out Lineage and Leaf. I love that lineage because what we're talking
Mhm,
about here today is tradition.
mhm.
And I want to ask you, how does tea etiquette and gathering traditions connect to the broader idea? And you've kind of touched on this, of refinement in preparation, because one, that I'm a cotillion historian, and tea parties, and as you've written in your article, the celebration of the mother daughter tea, there's a direct connection to refinement, preparation, etiquette, coming together across generations. Do you have some more that I may be missing as it relates to that tradition?
Oh, yes, here's a really good example. What does this look like? It's
Is
a
that a
tea
tea cake?
cake. This is
Yes,
one of my tea cakes, and
yes.
this is a family tradition, and look at how it breaks.
Oh, oh, Director
Milk.
Hiwatha, are you going to send me some this weekend?
Yes, ma'am. I have made 4 dozen, and my husband ate 2 of the 4. They have a very short lifespan, and I'll have to send you that along with my pecan praline caramel cake that's
Hmm.
famous. So that tradition right there, it didn't take much ingredients whatsoever. So remember, our ancestors used what? Scraps to cook with, right? But
Yes.
that tradition came on and on and on down the line, and they taught that, and we're carrying it on. And it's important for us to teach cooking to our younger generation so they can keep that tradition going and not forget about it. So, tea parties, that is a time to talk about things like that. Talk about womanhood. And it's not just restricted to women. Men are invited to tea parties as well, but it is a tradition involved and it's a oneness. And some people use it for other types of events, business gatherings. Again, I mentioned that term gastro diplomacy. So that is a refined way to serve and be served. So
Okay.
carry that on. Yes.
So I have to ask you this question, Director Sawatha. What do people get wrong about etiquette, and even tea etiquette? Is there a misconception about some of these traditions and rituals?
Yes, ma'am. The number one thing that people misconceive about etiquette, they think it's only dealing with dining etiquette, table manners. When you say etiquette, that's the first thing that's top of mind. But there are so many types of etiquette. You have the business etiquette, which of course how you conduct yourselves in a professional setting. Etiquette as defined by Oxford Dictionary is the customary code of polite behavior in society among members of a particular group or profession. So you have etiquette in the church, you have etiquette at work, you have etiquette in the educational system, hospital systems. Everything has what? Etiquette, because everything has protocols. So when a person isolates etiquette to only dining etiquette, they're missing the boat, because if you don't have effective communication, you're not exemplifying etiquette whatsoever. And you can communicate what? With your body language,
Absolutely.
verbally, in writing. It's so many different things. And then the chivalry and deportment aspect. So many women I see in a social setting, they're sitting in their legs spread eagle. They don't know
Mhm.
the Duchess slant, the Cambridge cross, the frontal, all of these different sitting techniques and how you're supposed to emulate, how you're supposed to enter the room and own it. All of these things I teach. That's part of etiquette. That's the part that a man leaves his right hand open so he can open all doors for a woman. These are things that should be taught, that the man should always walk in front of the woman when they're descending a stairwell, so if she falls, he can break it. All of these types of things that they need to know, and they don't, so
I
they
mean, we
just,
could probably be on here for 3 hours. You are just full of wealth, full of knowledge, and I just love that you're trained and your preparation, and there's so much to learn. People think that you can learn etiquette within 15 minutes. And you
impossible.
are a model that says, I've studied this for years, and I've gone through, technical training and schooling, and it takes more than 15 minutes to understand all of the etiquette and the rules to etiquette and preparation and refinement.
Yes, ma'am, and ongoing training.
Yes, ongoing
Stay
training.
current. Yes, ma'am.
So, we're gonna do a little something really fun, kind of like a rapid reflection round before we close out. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So, your favorite tea and why?
Jamaica.
Mm.
My favorite tea. The nickname of it is popcorn tea. It's a green tea, really, really fast story. There was a servant named Jemai, and back in the day, they didn't have a lot of money, so they had to add corn and rice to the tea to stretch it. And he was serving his master. And in the event of serving his master's tea, some of that rice came out into the master's teacup. On the spot, he was beheaded. And then
Mm.
after he was beheaded, the master consumed the tea. And he was like, "Oh, this tastes so delicious. I really hate I did that to old Jemai." And he named the tea Jamaica. And that is my
Oh,
favorite tea. And it tastes like a county fair. It's like you're eating caramel, apples, popcorn, all of that. That's the flavor of it. So that's my
very
favorite tea.
interesting. Very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Uh, what is one word you would use to describe Black women and cotillion traditions?
Heritage and
Heritage.
inheritance.
Love
Heritage.
that. Love that. One tradition that should never disappear and why?
Presenting our young men and women formally to society, grooming
Now,
them
I
and
agree with
preparing.
that.
Yes, it never
And
should,
why? And why?
because it prepares them to be productive members of society.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes, yes. And one word that defines legacy.
easy. Love.
Ah,
If you love someone, you will leave a legacy. That's biblical.
I
A
love that.
wise man leaves his son what? An inheritance. So if you
Yes.
love someone, you leave a legacy.
Well, it's time for us to close this interview. Like I said, I could talk to you all day. Thank you for joining us on International Tea Day. I hope that there's one more thing. Did you share? Is there a type of tea I should drink in the morning as opposed to midday and evening, or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter, but it would be great if you start your day with green tea and
Green
try to
tea,
get at
okay,
least,
and that helps with the circulation, right?
yes, yes,
Okay,
and
yeah,
awakens your
it
mind,
wakes
gets
you
you
up. Okay,
prepared. Yes.
okay, yes. Well, these stories matter, these traditions matter, and I just want to say thank you for joining us, educating us on tea and etiquette and tradition. And I am so excited about your article that it's going to be coming out in the African American Debutante Registry. Um, Could you provide our followers some information about how they can contact you if they're interested? Because you do consulting services and you do training and you have tea parties. You do there are so many services that they can go to find out all the things that you do in your area of the country. And also you travel. You travel to
Yes.
different places. You're going to be coming to the Dallas-Fort Worth area,
Yes.
doing some training, and I'm excited about that. So I just want people to know how to get in contact with you.
One thing, they can go to their local newsstand and pick up an international copy of Tea Time magazine, which I am featured in here every month with my cotillion. You see that? And all
Oh
they
wow,
have to
I
do is
love
just
it.
scan the QR code and it'll wrap you to all of my sites. And you can go to wathaswonderfulworld.com, send me a message, and please like Watha's Wonderful World LLC registered trademark and The Next Level on Facebook. All of the information is there, and I'm at 318-647-4495. You can also Google my business. It's up to date, and it has all of the information that you want to know about Watha's Wonderful World. I am an A+ rated Better Business Bureau accredited business. So you can find me everywhere and watch my cooking shows. I'm a resident chef on our local NBC Fox network, KARD Fox 14. And I have an upcoming show coming up on the 2nd of June. That will be my next broadcast. So I just look forward to seeing you all.
Oh, yes. Check her out at wathaswonderfulworld.com. So I would like to, before I close, I have to thank our media sponsor, Indie Soup Media, who we have a great partnership with that helps us elevate these conversations during our national discussions series. So I want to thank Indie Soup Media for helping us preserve history and bringing wonderful people like directors Hiwatha Coleman to a larger community so that we can all learn, share, and grow together. So thank you everyone for joining us this evening. And can we drink some tea as we close out? And making
Yes.
sure I have my, am I holding it correctly? Clock that
Remember
tea.
the piece. If you need a smaller cup.
I need a smaller cup. Is that what it is? Okay.
Mm.
Mm. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for joining us.
I am so glad. And look, and you know, I'm in Toastmasters, so we always say applause in American Sign Language.
Yes.
So we're just giving
Applause.
everybody applause and thanking them.
All right. Well, as we like to say, we build an archive, we tell the story that Black debutantes are real. See you
Yes.
next time.